most music producers are sabotaging themselves without even realizing. And you probably think that the reason why you can't finish tracks is lack of discipline, lack of talent, lack of skills, I'm not good enough, you name it. But what if I told you that none of that is actually true? And the real reason why you can't finish tracks is that you don't understand the natural laws of how this reality and your mind works. So in this video, I'm gonna give you the keys and the system to understanding your mind so creativity becomes second nature, so that making music and finishing tracks is effortless. If you want to work with me as your music coach, the link is in the description, and let's get started. So let's start with identifying the problem. The thing is that you're stuck in an identity loop. You believe that I don't finish tracks, and the reality has no choice to show you that. So this is why you have a lot of unfinished projects. So the step number one to fixing that is understanding the mental barrier. And this is something that I experienced myself. This is something that I saw a lot online. And here are some of the mental blocks that you have. So when you say, I must be certain way, right? Or maybe I am not enough, I'm not good, I'm not experienced, my track is not interesting, that all creates friction, right? So in order to show you that, let's imagine that this is you, right? And this is the finished track. And this is what is happening, right? You have this big mental block, let's call it the wall. And it can be any belief, right? And the reason is, it's not that this is a problem, right? The only reason why it actually is a problem is because you perceive that as a problem that is in the way. But when we remove that wall, then the process becomes easy. You can easily go from point number one to point number two where you are finishing tracks. So what we have to understand is you need in your mind to eliminate all the beliefs that in order for me to finish tracks, I need to have more skills, I need to be more experienced, yada, yada, yada. No, this is bullshit. Like, you don't need anything. Like, I'm literally telling you right now, you lack nothing. Nothing is in the way between you finishing music, between you enjoying the process, right? So, really quickly, all this mental stuff, this garbage, all those beliefs, they create pressure, right? And then what is happening, they just keep you stuck in the identity loop, in the same identity loop. I don't finish tracks. So you may ask, what is the solution? And the solution is surprisingly simple. You need to create a new identity in your mind. For example, two beliefs. I trust my taste. My music is the best. Because here's the thing. There's no one else in your reality who is thinking. So to believe this, it's a choice. And you can either stay in the mentality where there's like this outside world, circumstances, lack of skills, this and that. Or you may think like, nah, I'm not confident enough to believe that. My music is kind of amateur. Okay. This is a choice. You can decide right now that from now on, I'm gonna believe that my music is fucking best. So when you start trusting and when you start to adopt new beliefs, we can call this like installing new software in your mind, you start acting like a professional music producer, right? And this is when you're gonna start seeing that reflect in your reality. Because how can someone who thinks I am not good, how can someone finish tracks, right? If you say I'm not good, reality has no choice to show you that. Or like, I'm not good, I'm not ready, this and that. Like, do you see that all the problems that you have, you created them in your mind? There's no one else who put these thoughts in your head. Okay? So, now, when you understand that, let's actually go and let me explain the process. So, identify the beliefs that is holding you back and create a new identity. All right, now, the problem why so many people are struggling with creativity, with music production specifically, because it is very, like, it is not non-linear. You cannot push all the time. So the first principle that I want to explain, it's called the law of rhythm, and it is one of the 7 principles. What I'm teaching you here essentially is Hermetic laws. This is the laws, like the code of this reality. So number 1, law of rhythm. So what you're gonna see, like in your life and generally, if you start paying attention to how this reality works, you're gonna see that sometimes you feel high, like happy, and some days you're gonna feel kind of sad, you know, maybe not very inspired. And the thing is, it is a very natural thing in the universe. Like if you look at the, let's say, the seasons, we have summer and then we have winter. In winter, everything slows down, right? So again, this is the principle. You're gonna fluctuate and you're gonna go from this to this. And not understanding that is actually the reason why you're struggling with creativity, right? You cannot push when you are here, right? You cannot force yourself to get out of this state, but you can understand the principle of the rhythm. That's okay. Let's say, let me give an example, that you worked on a track yesterday and you wake up and the next day you feel like, I'm not really feeling inspired, maybe I'm not feeling really good about the track. The problem is people start creating assumptions in their head. Oh, maybe like I'm not a good music producer, why am I so bad? But in reality, you are in the rest cycle. So you did the track and you're naturally gonna experience the dip, because this is the principle of this reality. Everything follows this rhythm, and you cannot break this law. You cannot force the rhythm. So what you need to understand is pay attention to your states, right? When you are here, don't push, like don't try to feel high, just try to understand, like, why am I feeling this way? But when you feel high, like when it's action time, you take action time. So this is why, for example, I don't recommend to sit and spend like 3, 4, 5 hours on the track, because you're killing the track, you're killing your creativity, right? Then the next thing is going to be the law of gender, and this is another Hermetic law. So we have the masculine and the feminine, and again, it's very related to the law of rhythm. So masculine is impulse, is the creation. So for example, when you are here, you are creating the idea of the track, and then when you go here, you let the track marinate, you let the track stay in the back of your head, like when you're not listening to it, and it's the feminine, it's maturation, and it is the structure. And the thing is, just as I said, people don't understand this principle. I'm gonna explain that just in a sec, and you tend to push like all the time, like you tend to go like against this when it's time to just chill, right? And then you're gonna have a time when you push back. So for example, the way that I make music right now is I would sit and I would, let's say I make a track, let's say 2 hours a day. 3, like that's absolute maximum, like 3 hours, you can do so much. But then I'm not listening to the track, like I'm not trying to force it. And sometimes it is actually way better for you to let the track cool a little and end the session when you still have a little bit of that energy, because tomorrow you're gonna have even more. And the reason why a lot of people are struggling with that is that, again, you're not following the law of rhythm. You're trying to go against the flow here, right? But when you understand that, when you understand the cycles of creativity, you have action and then you have rest. Everything else becomes easy, and you're not judging that, right? It is completely normal to not have inspiration. It is completely normal to be in the low energy. Like, I woke up feeling like shit today, and then I was able to get out of that state, and now like I feel super hyped, like filming the video and doing all that stuff. Okay, so you can't always push, so we need to have a system, and I'm gonna give you the system right now. So this is the cause and effect, and again, a lot of people don't. Oh wait, actually, no. We need to go to another thing. So forget that just for a second. One thing that you have to understand is you need to be in the right environment, because a good environment is what's gonna create the state, and the state makes it easy for you to create music, right? And we can have two examples. For example, number one, a space that drains energy. Just for a second, right? Look at the environment where I'm sitting right now. I put a candle, I put this incense stick, right, to have the smell. I put the red light. I intentionally made it dark so that you feel my vibration, so that you are in the same creative environment. I put music, right? I'm drinking really good Chinese tea, which again helps me to be in the right state. But if your studio is, let's say, like a messy space, it is uncomfortable, it is distracting, and so on and so on, you need to remove that, because your studio, where you produce music, it has to be sacred space. Like, when you enter the studio, you should feel like, wow, it gives me so much inspiration. It gives me like so much joy. Like, I'm happy to be here. The moment I'm sitting here, it's just like, wow, I feel so inspired. Like, you see what I'm trying to say here. Now, let's break down this process. So when you have the right space, it is becoming like, my environment is my energy source. Environment makes creating easy. This is what you have to understand. It programs the mind and it raises your vibration, right? And vibration is vibration can be, for example, that you may feel demotivated and you can feel inspired. And the problem is, people separate feeling demotivated versus feeling inspired, but it is all one thing. It is a different temperature of the frequency, and this is another law, Hermetic law, the law of polarity. When you understand polarity, you can move from demotivated to inspired. You can take action, or I don't want to say take action. You can raise your vibration. So to give you an example, I was feeling like shit today, just because yesterday I had so many insights, I had so many ideas for my future projects, for my channel, for my business, for my music. I worked on the track, I went to the gym, and again, like naturally, I went from here to here. But what I did, instead of judging my state, oh, like I feel sad, I feel like shit, what is wrong with me? I just started, okay, let me just open the project, sit in Ableton, and I did like so much on the project. And from here, I was able to go up, and that's it. So the problem is, people just don't understand this principle. They judge themselves, but all you really need to do is be able to transmute that energy from demotivated to feeling inspired. And the process can be different for everyone, right? I don't know what you like. So for me, I need to create a proper environment. So for example, for me, I like the smell. So I have my incense stick, I use perfume, like I literally just spray a little bit on me because like, wow, that feels so great. Like you need to start understanding that a lot of, let me say, most of the advice on YouTube is not teaching you what I'm teaching you today. Like it is not some fucking technical tips that you're missing. It is not fucking compressor settings that you're missing, right? You need to alter your state. You need to alter your vibration. So when you learn yourself, when you understand what you need to go from here to here, everything becomes easy, okay? So that is the power of your space. Because you can feel like shit, and then when you enter your studio, you can be like, wow, this is absolutely insane. I feel so happy and grateful to be here, right? Okay, now let's go back and get to the system. So what you need is the ritual, and the ritual for a different person can look completely different to how it looks for myself, because you're not your physical body. You are pure consciousness. Everything that you see here, yes, it's matter, you can touch it, you can smell it, but in reality, you are not the human body, you are consciousness. So what we need to do, number one, understand that you need to tune your frequency. So like the same way like you would check the guitar before you start performing, maybe you need to tune the strings a little bit. And same with your state. Your state is no different. You are always vibrating. You can feel happy, you can feel sad, you can feel neutral, and it's always goes like this. So maybe like you feel slow, then you feel like high, and then like even higher, and then you feel slow again, right? This is the vibration. So we need to go from something like very low, let's call this like negative sad, and then we need a process to be able to tune it like this when you are vibrating on the high frequency. So the ritual for me, for example, is I love good Chinese tea. So this is like something that makes me happy. I like the smell, the taste, it makes me grounded. Can be anchor, right? So you should not wait for the inspiration, but an action, and then the trigger. Right? So when you enter the studio, let's say you prepare tea, maybe you have like a little ritual where whatever you want to do, right? It doesn't matter. I can't think for yourself, right? For me, it's tea, smell, light. You can see I like the dark room. I hate this, like the big upper light is just disgusting. And then it's gonna trigger the state, okay? And then detachment. Oh, this is, my friend, gonna be a big one. Let go of the results. Enjoy, have fun, it's a game. So let me give you a very, it's a very provocative statement, but everything that you know about reality is absolutely wrong. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not kidding. Life is a game. Just think of life as a high-tech simulation. And you're like, imagine this, like when you play a video game, like you have fun, right? And this is exactly what is happening. You are consciousness that has incarnated on this earth. You have your physical body, your avatar, and you are playing this high-tech game. So why are you making things like so serious? If life is a game and we are actors, life is a movie, why are you making shit so serious? You're like, you are pressuring yourself. Oh, like I need to finish this track, I need to be good enough. Then you're comparing yourself, like all that shit. In reality, it's just like enjoy, have fun. So instead of thinking like I'm lacking something, I'm missing something, fuck, I feel so happy, so grateful that I can sit and enjoy music. Can you make this a sacred act of creativity? I never fucking ever treat music production like work, because this is the best way to sabotage it. Like, you treat it as a game. I don't need to finish track. I don't need to be good. Like, you just sit and you are enjoy. Can you be so present, so detached from the results, from the expectations of yourself and the reality, like all of those limiting beliefs that you that you picked up from society, from other people. Like really just detach from everything. To finalize the key takeaway here is life is a video game. You can treat it like this: simulation, video game, a movie, and you are not here to struggle. So why are you buying into the bullshit that I can't finish tracks, music is hard? Like, you're creating problems in your head, right? And you have two choices after watching this video. You can either understand this shit and, wow, okay, this is a different perspective. Or you can just stay stuck and still think like, oh, like I'm missing technical skills. Like, let me just give you an example, like really quickly. If you have so much conviction in a bad track, you're putting so much energy, your energy, into this track, people will like it. It can be unpolished, it can sound kind of messy, but if you have so much conviction, okay, maybe like technically it's not good enough, but it's a good track just because I said so. Do you have balls to say, I make the best shit ever, even if it's unpolished? Maybe yes, maybe not. But if you do, this is really the key. Like, everything is mental. Everything is mental. But when you understand the natural laws, you can control your state and you can finish your tracks. And the last thing that I want to give you, this was like a presentation on the natural laws, the teachings, and the way that the reality works. But I want to give you a couple of like final technical tips. So number one is 90 minutes per session. As I said, it is better to leave the table when you are a little bit hungry. Same with track. Don't push 100%. Give yourself a little bit of that buffer energy so that when you next time sit and do the track, then it's really easy, okay? Then you want to have a clear goal for the session. If you're doing arrangement, you are doing arrangement. You're not like sitting, doing sound design, like mixing, okay? Just one clear focus. Another one is journaling before and after the session. Because the more you learn yourself, the more you learn your habits, your mistakes, maybe happy accidents, the more you develop your style, the more you understand, okay, this process works for me, this one doesn't, right? Don't listen to the track after you exported the demo, because you are stealing the energy from the track. Let it cool, let it marinate. Like, it needs that extra time. And even when you're listening to the track, just be very aware, like, am I listening to the track too much? Why am I listening? I'm listening too much. Oh, the kick is wrong, this is wrong. No, like, it's perfect. I make perfect music. I don't give a fuck what other people telling me. I make perfect music, I don't care, okay? Take breaks, again, really important and related to the previous point. You need to take breaks from the track. And then take notes what you need to fix. You want to have like a clear plan, a clear structure. And the final thing, after I gave you this masterclass, is what you want to start believing is, I finish tracks easily. Music production is easy. I have fun. Like, remove all of those limiting beliefs, because the moment you say that I struggle, I can't, the reality has no choice to conform. The reality has no choice to give you what you say out loud to the universe, right? And if you want to understand, if you like this video and if you want to understand more of the mental aspect of music, watch this video next, I don't know, like here. So see you in the next video.